drives him on a daily basis. He lives, eats, breathes, loves to surf. He was raised to surf. From the time he was 3, his father had him in the Gulf. As a toddler, he was learning to surf. So that's Yancey. Yancey's a surfer.
Leaving today, I'm headed out to California. I've driven out there my whole life. You know, me and my dad used to drive out in the vans, and I'm just go out there and touch base with some of the legends, you know, that I grew up around, Hank Warner and Skip Fry and Bill Stewart. And this time of year, moving into winter here on the Gulf, you know, this is our rough season. Surfing, every 4 seasons on the Gulf is different. You know, you'll have the long, flat, you know, hurricane season in the summer. Winter starts turning into the brisk cold fronts, which is rough, you know, low pressures that cause high winds and cold temperatures. And so, you know, to gear up for the winter surf here in Pensacola on the Gulf, you know, you really have to knuckle down and be really hardcore, because you're going to have to surf on the coldest, windiest, crappiest days that we have just to surf. So I'm just taking a break. You know, I just turned 40, and I'm going to celebrate my birthday and go out and retouch and relight the flame with a lot of classic legends in our sport. As far as being considered surf royalty, I really enjoyed it, only because I know that my dad was, you know, one of the founders in Gulf surfing, keeping Gulf surfing alive and trying so hard to give the Gulf a name. And I learned a lot from my dad, and you know, hopefully I don't steal too much limelight from my brother, because he would cry about that. But other than that, I fit in. You know, we all play our part, and I'm just happy to be, you know, associated with a lot of the legends that are out there, you know, still in the sport. So I'm just going to keep the torch going as long as I can, to watch the whole beach grow and change. And now, you know, it's funny to work, you know, at a place in between my dad's statue and, you know, there's a restaurant there with a mural of his paddle out. And so to have a statue that represents, hey, this is a surfer that dedicated his life to Gulf Coast surfing, to push surfing along the Gulf, and, you know, and to respect it by a statue, you know, that reminds me of, hey, you know, there's a drive inside all of us, you know, and he had that strong drive to do something, and it's inspiring, you know. So I think the statue represents inspiration, and you know, it shows him holding a surfboard like he had another day at work, you know, and that's what he did. He woke up, he surfed, he watched the weather, he chased the surf, he chased the fetch.
Yancey's father, Yancey III, is the Duke. He put Pensacola, Gulf Breeze, Pensacola, the Gulf of Mexico on the map as far as surfing goes.
He had a following, and it's because they knew of his dedication. They knew that he was out to be a surfer for the surfers, you know, and he wanted to keep the soul in the surf shops by, you know, watching people surf and relating to what their need was, you know. So he had a very personal one-on-one relationship with all the surfers, and you know, I do as well. I try to, you know, make sure I know what everyone's doing in the surf scene around here, so that I can see if maybe someone needs help, or if they're going in the wrong direction, or I can bring some new idea that's coming, you know, to the table. So I'm keeping the torch alive on that end, as far as being a personal surfer to the surfers in the local areas. He knew when and where the waves are going to break, and he studied the sandbars, and that's what it takes to surf on the Gulf. Is you have to watch the sandbars. They change seasonally, and every storm will change them up. So we can actually shape sandbars. I mean, they're making wave gardens, and they're making reefs everywhere around the world. So if we can get just that, you know, just by having a statue, we can get a step up and say, look, surfing is relevant here. You know, let's pull together. Let's show them how we can shape a wave. Let's do some, you know, second sandbar renourishment instead of just dumping sand on the beach. And you know, the future of the sport will still continue to just grow and grow. So, you know, I did have an advantage by, you know, my dad having his fingers right in the heart of the industry to get me the right equipment, which helped me and my brother advance pretty fast. But we did pick up the dedication. So, you know, I'm well loved, I think. I don't think I'm hated anywhere, but I'm just a little bit rebellious, not too black sheepish. You know, that's what I was called by Hank Warner as a kid. I was a rebel. And it's because I had a hard time conforming with corporate world, corporations. You know, school was hard, you know, the system's hard, bills and laws and all that. So I'm a little bit rebellious than I am the black sheep. So I'm taking that hope of catching waves, which we're all after. You know, I crave the waves, is the coin I've raised and bought. And I'm working on one camp in particular, a guy named Stephen Broden here from Gulf Breeze. He's given me the opportunity to take his camp. And hopefully when people come to the surf camp, I can give them a full experience. I can give them history, I can give them pointers, I can give them lessons, I can maybe, you know, help them with equipment and give them a relaxation time. I think we all deserve some time to relax. If you just want to look at birds, you can look at birds. There's a, you know, if you want to paddleboard, here's the river. If you want to sit in the jungle and meditate, there's the jungle. This is a good spot to go kind of realign yourself and tune back into nature, get some exercise, get some positiveness going, and light up your inner light a little bit.